Wow. Slobber, lobber, dig dog on a Monday.
Hello.
Welcome to it. I forget which episode this is. I'm starting to lose count. I think we're on 5 or 6. So thank you. Subscriptions came in over the weekend. The Dog and Joe Outpost, the merchandise flying off the shelves.
Oh, man.
Thank you for all that. Keep them coming. We're going to start off with quite a bit of people now emailing dogandjoepodcast.com. That's where you need to go. And that is your main hub. And some people are having trouble with our website and getting podcasts. But I think those same people, again, I don't know these people personally, but I think they have trouble in life with lots of things. So I'm hoping they get it figured out. But if you can't, I wish you'd refrain from social media and reach out to us here, dogandjoepodcast.com.
Every day I update just a little bit on there. So as I'm putting the new video up, I'm moving around the old ones to be in a different order. So if you click on something and it doesn't work right away, give it, 15, 20 seconds, refresh, and it will work.
15, 20 seconds, Joe. Who has that kind of time?
I'm pretty quick.
These people are paying 10 cents an episode if there's a 30-day month. Do you understand that they're giving us a dime per episode? They're very, very particular.
Is that real?
Well, there's 10 dimes in a dollar. We joked about this last week. I was like, I got to do the math. Well, there's 10 dimes in a dollar. All right, you're paying $2.99, so I rounded up by a penny, $3. Okay, that's 30 dimes.
That's hilarious.
30 dimes, okay?
A dime a day. Okay. Yeah. All right. You could wait 15 seconds then.
You wait 15 days. You wait 15 years. Are you kidding me? A dime an episode?
That's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah. Few emails. I want to go through some real nice stuff people are saying. This one from Robbie. He said, hey, guys, glad to see you guys jumping into the world feet first and on your own terms. Been a fan since Dogface had his theme song in the afternoon drive and Joe was doing nights. Followed you to the river and bailed with you here. Yes, I paid my $2.99. He goes on to say that he sent some sort of audio promo that I've tried to download and it won't come through. So he says it's kind of funny and that we can use it if we want. But you
can't make it work, though?
Yeah, it's like the file's broken. So
okay.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thanks, Robbie.
This one's pretty good from Abby Bingham. She writes, and it's a little lengthy. Hi, Dog and Joe. This might be a long email, so bear with me. You know how much we love long emails.
I like them.
I wanted to let you guys know how much I love the show. Bit of a backstory. I love the backstories, okay? I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania. You probably can't find it on a map. When I was 19, yes, 19, I moved to Sacramento to live with my boyfriend. Hold on, Joe. I know you're sitting, but I'm going to tell you, hopefully you're sitting down. Her boyfriend's from Salinas.
Oh! Well, there's where the real trouble begins then, isn't it, my lady?
Yeah, and she says in parentheses, I know Joe loves Salinas.
I'm kidding with you.
That was in 2018, by the way. I missed home terribly. I had bad anxiety about being away from home, and it sucked. One day on my way to work, I turned on the radio. I needed something to distract me. It just so happens that 93.7 was on, and you guys were talking, along with Dana. I was instantly hooked. Your show helped me through one of the hardest times in my life, and I thank all three of you for that. I ended up moving back to Pennsylvania, but still listened. A while back, she messaged on Facebook. Dana responded. She says here, this is funny. She was drunk. She was at Disneyland. Dana, that is. We instantly formed a friendship. She is now one of my closest friends and is even in my wedding.
Oh!
I'm not aware of this friendship.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we haven't, been working with her for a year or longer.
Yeah. She said, I love her to death and would love to hear her voice on the podcast. For a while, I drifted off and didn't listen due to my work schedule. But once again, I got hit with a life-altering situation. My best friend of 9 years got diagnosed with cancer and passed away.
Oh.
She went through all the moves with me. And it says here that She got me through my brother passing away. She was my soul dog. Once again, I needed another getaway, so I turned on your show. It brought instant happiness. I cannot express how heartbroken I was when I saw your post about being fired. But I'm so glad I have found the podcast. I am a subscriber and always will be. I hope it's a giant success for you two. Abby Bingham.
Well, thank you, Abby. Sounds like you've had a rough little way to go there, young lady.
Yeah, I mean, I think Joe, not to make light of her friend, but just to make a tough situation lighter, I think the biggest trouble for Joe in his eyes, it's the guy from Salinas, right?
Man, I hope things do get better for you, though. I mean, my gosh, at least you're strong. At least you're strong.
Yeah,
keeps cracking through. You know.
And what's
That's what
weird?
You got to do.
When we get in, let me click back. We'll do a couple more emails, but I just want to see Joe, because what's weird, when we did what we were doing over at the creek or the mud puddle, whatever you want to call it, the dried up canal, we got into, when you're doing that, you're working for a company, you don't have the time to sit here like we do now. You're caught up in that rat race. You're on the wheel every day, and you're kind of going through the motions. And there's very little time to enjoy the craft, or we were no longer able to do funny stuff. We couldn't do stuff that was kind of mean. We couldn't F with people. We couldn't do a lot. And you're just kind of crossing off the checklist. And my point with all that is, you forget, because you're wrapped up in it, how you could or should touch people like Abby. That's my point. Is
I don't forget that. That's my entire reason for doing this.
It's not mine, but it's nice to hear. And it's pretty cool how so many of these emails, after we've shared what happened with I Hate Radio and what, the show became and what they did, all these people reach out with all these different stories about how they were touched, or how this one thing, or how we helped fix a marriage, or how we fixed a this, or so it's really cool. But I myself, Joe, maybe not, I forget what it does mean to some people sometimes. And that's great if we helped you out. If we gave you advice, or it changed, or it made your day better, helped you through anxiety, helped you through a tough move, whatever it is, that's pretty cool.
I love hearing that kind of stuff, because that's what it is all about for me anyhow. That's why sometimes I'll do the game videos and things like that, and I'll play them till 3, 4 in the morning and just all through the night, because people fall asleep. Weirdly, I don't know, this is weird, but they fall asleep listening to me talk. So they'll be like, I've had a very high stressful day. Things have been rough, man. Can you just play your game and talk for a little while? I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's a huge compliment, Somebody wants to do that. So that's what I do. And I'm pretty animated, so I don't know how you fall asleep to it, but
I've told you for years. I've told you for years I'm getting drowsy. You always thought it was a joke. I'm like, dude, I'm drifting off. I guess that's a compliment. You
I love it.
People to sleep.
When they want to go, don't you have something you fall asleep to that relaxes you?
Yeah. It's.
How'd you like to know you were that for somebody? That's cool. Cool.
It for me for a long time, it's different TV shows, but for forever it was Sopranos. But yeah, you get to that point where you want that at the end of your day. And I think what we should do, since we can do this now, we don't have legal, we don't have all this shit hovering over our heads of what we can and can't do. I think people should email us or legit mail us and send your house key. And then what we'll do is we'll make copies of it, or we'll give Joe, and Joe could get one of those giant key rings like a janitor, and he could creep into your house at night. Okay. Turn your alarm off. Okay. And he can come in unexpected and tuck you in with a bedtime story. Would that be creepy, or just an extension of what we're doing to raise 10 cents a day per episode?
Well, I mean, I'm behind you and wanting to raise some money. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it through the podcast like this. It's probably a little cooler for me. I don't need to.
I want you to go
show
to.
up in anybody's home and tuck them in with a rocking chair story.
I want you to hover over people at night. Remember that creepy ass story about Will Smith and Jada when they were going through all that weird stuff? He said something like, "Yeah," he goes, "I wake up at night and I just stand over her and watch her sleep." We're like, "Oh my god, that's weird."
And then we found out he really was weird.
Yeah.
That's odd. I mean, everyone's watched their woman sleep before, but that's just a weird way to go about saying it. I just stand over and watch her sleep.
Yeah, to stand over. That's the weird part.
Oh, yuck.
Let's do this one here. This one comes from Jason. Hey guys, my name is Jason. Recently, my wife and I have gotten into 3D printing. During your first episode, Dog had mentioned having your logo as a big Flavor Flav necklace and how cool that would be.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. This is funny. So I got the logo and I made one. Do you think this could be something we could monetize together? If not, that's okay, but I would still like to send you one of these so you could wear it during an episode or just hang it in your studio somewhere. Let me know if this is something that you guys may be interested in. Been a big fan since '06 and look forward to the possibility of making stuff together, at least sending you this one. The contact email, yada, 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 yada. And I did write back to him and I said, hey, let's plan
Send
a meetup.
them. Yep.
I got to have that logo.
You see this thing right there, that little knob, that my thing, that'll hang right off of there. You'll see the Flavor Flav emblem logo in the background the whole time.
No, I wear it. No, I'm going to wear it on my neck. He only made it for me.
No. He made two of them. I want the other one. That thing's it's sick.
And I'm going to have to get it, I guess, because, I mean, I could move the camera around and whatnot, but I think it'd have to be a choker so you can see it. But I'm like, yeah, boy. And, yeah, I'll wear that damn thing. Yeah, get us.
It fits on his son's neck. It'll fit on you. It would be about a choker size. That's perfect.
Well, I mean, it would just hang down. But, yeah, I mean, and if you could make it, I'll go out to the mall. Do they still sell that gold by the inch?
I don't think so.
Well, they should, because I'd buy a big-ass rope and get it. And if you could put fake glass in it and make it look like fake gold and really just bling the hell out of it, oh, yeah, I'll rock it.
You idiot. I think gold by the inch went away and people started stealing it by the foot. You run into the mall and they took off running with it.
Yeah. They're like, really? Gold by the inch? It's still fake. It's not real gold. So
I want all of it anyway.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got a couple more. I'm not going to read all these emails, but I do
Got a lot
appreciate
so far, huh? Cool.
Yep. One more here. This one comes from Chris. Longtime listener from the meth lab days when I moved here 12, 13 years ago. I didn't know anybody or have any money, but you guys made me laugh. Didn't matter. Didn't matter if it was with Arnie, Dana, just the two. The emotional days that Joe went through at the end of the meth lab days. The battle with that wine rack guy. I just want to say thank you for everything. I appreciate you two doing this, and I need you to know how much time, booze you've gone through getting this going. Oh, all the booze we've drank in time to put it together. We all care about you two. FYI, 4 days I'm totally game for. Oh, if we moved one of the days away.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a 4-day podcast. Since I listen when I want to, and I don't want you to burn out. So, hell yeah, whatever you need to do, keep it coming.
Aww.
Side note, I own a fireplace sales and installation company. I would like to advertise when you guys are ready. If not, have a great weekend. Thank you for everything. Chris.
All right. Thank you, Chris. That's cool of you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And currently talking with a young man that paints houses, and people are starting to reach out for advertising. So we thank you.
Yeah.
If you have a small company and you want it to be smaller or non-existent, we would love to do business with you. We would love to take your dreams and aspirations and shit them down the toilet in a matter of 4 to 5 podcasts.
We'll bring a couple people your way.
Yeah, we would love to help you guys out with that stuff. Let's get into some other stuff. We'll do more emails coming up on tomorrow's episode. We got to talk about this. I think Joe's got it ready. A lot of people are going to be surprised about Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember all the sexual allegation charges stemming back, I mean, years ago? This is going back to 2009, 2011. On Friday, prosecutors said they will not file charges against Marilyn Manson after a years-long investigation of the sexual assault allegations, domestic violence, and other things. Brian Warner, a.k.a. Marilyn Manson, the 56-year-old shock rocker.
56, huh?
Yeah, he said he was pretty happy, but they did not have sufficient evidence to charge him. So,
well, I would
done.
have thought they would have, but, okay. You know what grabs me about Marilyn Manson? Look at that lip divot. I mean, that's quite
lipstick.
a lipstick painted lip divot. That's weird looking, isn't it? Why would you do that?
Now, here's the thing with prosecutors, though. Can we still, and that's great if in fact it's true and the evidence is legitimate and the investigation was legitimate and they didn't have enough to charge him with. Great for him, because I think you just look at him, you're like, oh my God, he should just be. I thought that cops should have, when he was on stage performing with those weird boobs and that, he should have been arrested just for that.
That was so weird. That was a very, very weird time. That's what I wanted to find out what her name was. Evan Rachel Wood. This is what's weird about this case is it was prior girlfriends that accused him. So it wasn't like it was, girls out of the blue or girls that went to his concert or girls that were at a party. I mean, these were his girlfriends that said this. That's what made me like, oh, yucky.
And I hate to speculate. I don't know Brian Warner. Don't know. I've seen Marilyn Manson once or twice in concert. I'm just speculating. I would think stuff got really weird, uncomfortable, and wasn't appreciated or liked by these companions. But something tells me there was consent in some way. Meaning, I think things got out of hand and he gave them the creeps, but they couldn't pin it on him that he was out of line by not getting consent or that they hadn't agreed upon doing these activities that may have went awry. I don't know.
I don't know either, but it just, he's such a big fella and those girls were all so little. I mean, Evan Rachel Wood she's tiny little thing compared to him,
Yeah. What Google if you could. I mean, I guess I could. I'm just curious. How tall is he? Marilyn Manson height.
Ugh. I'm not 100% sure how tall this fella is.
I think he's tall. I think he's like 6'5".
Oh,
he's only 6'1".
He is?
Yeah.
Now see what little Evan Rachel Wood is. She's small.
Evan Rachel Wood, she's probably what, 5'2". Evan.
And there was another one too. Who was the other girl?
Let's see her height. Okay. Wow, she is 3'7".
No.
No, she's 5'7". So she's tall.
Oh.
She's taller than I am.
No, she is pretty tall then.
Yeah, she's. I mean, 6'1" and 5'7". That's a tall couple. She's by no means tiny. So
it was the other girl, Esme Bianco. She was a Game of Thrones actress. As I know I'm pronouncing her name wrong, Esme Bianco. But that one got bad because it said like he trafficked her because he brought her from Mexico back to here, and I mean that story got weird, dude.
Yeah. Again, we don't know the true truth, but according to prosecutors, they said they couldn't find anything, so everything's dropped. And this thing started back in 2009, and if in fact none of it were true, I don't think anyone believes that Marilyn Manson or that he was squeaky clean. But
well, no, I don't know about that. But I mean, when you start to find out some of these things, like remember that Hammer guy that was supposed to be one to eat people, and I mean some of these stories,
Army Hammer. Or
yeah, I mean some of these stories get wild, don't they? I mean it's just weird. You're like, what? That was all going on while you were just a star? That's creepy. How did you have time for that?
Yeah, it's yucky.
Yeah.
You got to talk about this. We're going to get into a topic, and we are going to have a phone line for messages. In the meantime, if you could, keep the emails coming because we check them daily. We stay up on them. We're both doing our part to make sure we can get you answered and taken care of no matter where you go, all our platforms. But keep
trying
the emails.
to.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but yeah,
It's
we're
fun
trying.
though. It's fun. It's fun trying to keep up with it.
Kind of exhausting. It's exhausting fun. Yellowstone in 1923, which that's the prequel that came out after, it sparks a cowboy car travel trend. People are flocking to the great outdoors because of Yellowstone.
Oh, really?
Not only do people want to go to Yellowstone, they just want to get outside. They want to get in touch with their inner cowboy. They want to go to places like Montana, Wyoming. They want to go to these cowboy states, if you will, because of Yellowstone. Fans want to become part of their scenes that they see on TV, and they're going out with big numbers, and they've got travel numbers for these two states to prove it. Glacier County tourism up 48%.
Whoa.
And they say that it's all because of Yellowstone. So, think about this.
That's incredible, actually.
What movies do you remember that started trends? And it's pretty disgusting that it took Yellowstone and binge watching Netflix on your ass to make you want to go back outside. But that's great. It
looks cool, though, because they're riding horses and they're showing, cool sunsets and, whatever else. So I could see why that would get people to want to go back out. And I'm scrolling through this article. There we go. I found a good picture of it right there. There you go. There's, look at that. That's beautiful, man. It really is. And plus, it's, they're fun. They're fun actors. It's a fun show. It's rough and tough. And, it's got a pretty good little following, I think.
And Kevin Costner, he always has his helicopter pick him up. John Dutton, he wears the glasses and he's just a badass. And his daughter's a whore. And I mean, everyone on the show is very cool, and it makes it very cool. And forgive me, I know everybody knows his name, but the guy that put this together, the guy that really bucks the Broncos and rides the horses, Sheridan. I can't remember the guy's name that made this, but he's also the guy that made Landman with Billy Bob. He's doing that one too.
Okay.
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan, I think, is who it is. That sounds right.
He's like the new thing. He's like the Chuck Lorre of outdoor madness and entertainment right now. And
I guess that's him in the middle right there with
yeah, that's him.
That's him
with
right
Harrison
there.
Ford. Yeah, that looks like him. He's the guy that's responsible for this, but I saw a thing going back, I don't know, a few months ago. It was pretty interesting. They went to the Stetson Cowboy Hat factory in Texas.
Oh, cool.
And they took them on a tour, and they took us through, and we got to see this. And they said sales they had never seen. It got to a point where people weren't buying cowboy hats anymore. And then Yellowstone came out the first season. They're like, people are kind of like cowboy hats. Like, wonder what that's about. That's cool. Second season, they're like, man, people are buying a lot of cowboy hats. What's going on? It took them about 3 seasons, I believe, to figure out it was Yellowstone.
What was doing it?
That was making the sales, and boom, off to the races. And then they showed Beyonce. Beyonce, they say they think got into doing country, and she got into the craze, and everybody wants a cowboy hat now. And Stetson said, holy crap, we haven't seen gangbust business like this since like the 80s. And it was all because of Yellowstone. So I think it's pretty cool.
PBR made me want to have a cowboy hat.
Yeah, Joe's got one. Joe's got a cowboy hat.
I do. I love it.
So think about this and chime in on Facebook. Movies or TV shows that started trends in America. Okay. And I came up with a list, and it's pretty funny. I'm a speck older than Joe, and I grew up in California.
You're a speck older than all of us.
Just a speck. But I think these are good ones. And if you go back in time and remember movies or TV shows that started trends like Yellowstone has, Saturday Night Fever, 1977. Okay. This is before everybody thought disco sucked. Okay. And everybody wanted Angel Flight pants. Everybody wanted silk shirts. John Travolta was bitching. I mean, and that was actually John Travolta dancing, but everybody wanted Angel Flights. And
what are those? The bell-bottom skin-tight pants?
Yeah, those are the basically spandex until it gets to the knee, and then boom, let freedom ring. I mean, bam, just right after the knee, it just blows out.
I got a pair of them pants.
Angel flights?
Well, they're not as big as angel flights, but they're skin tight into some bell bottoms.
Oh yeah, those are your Halloween. Those are your when you go disco ducking.
Yeah.
I've seen those. I think you wore those when we did Joe on Ice.
I sure did. Yeah. Those were the bottoms to my fluffy top.
Boy, those were form fitting.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was glad I had those that night.
I wish we had that on video. Joe was out skating around. He did a full-on choreographed performance, and it was funny.
It was stupid, is what it was.
It was stupid, but it was pretty damn funny. So I think that started the trend, and disco didn't last long much after that, but no one can say that it was not John Travolta that sold the hell out of angel flights. He made them cool. People wore them.
There's no doubt about it, dude.
Yeah. And oddly, this is legit too. And I want people in California that are from here to think about this. John Travolta started another trend just 3 years later. Urban Cowboy. Okay, that came out in 1980 when he played Bud.
He had some big movies right back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, John Travolta was gigantic.
You got to count Grease. Grease started it too. People started liking those stupid rockabilly musical things.
Musicals suck. They always
have. I
have.
don't care for them either, but that was a huge little trend for a minute.
And every now and again, someone makes the mistake of making a musical. I mean, either make music or make movies. Don't combine the two because it sucks. It's awful.
They're rough.
So Urban Cowboy comes out, him and Deborah Winger. And I remember this. This was a big, big trend. And you could thank Willie. You could think Waylon Jennings. You could thank a couple others. There was a lot of outlaw country going on and honky tonkin', and country was kind of cool. And I remember my dad, he even went out and he bought a pair of snub-nosed boots. And this whole outlaw, rough and tumble country thing was cool. And then Urban Cowboy, it blew it up. Everyone wanted to ride that goddamn mechanical bull. Everyone wanted Lone Star beer. Everyone wanted to look like Sissy. Everyone wanted to look like Bud. And there was a cowboy trend, people dressing like that. People were putting their names on the back of their belts. And
oh, yeah.
They were dressing up and they were buying belt buckles. And I had an uncle. He went to Texas. He had to go to Gilley's. At the time, he was 21 or 22. This is like, oh, my God. And it was legitimate, the world's largest honky-tonk, as they called it. And this place would pack in, and it would just go fucking nuts every weekend and during the week. Like, I'm talking, I don't know, 5,000, 2,000, 1,500 people a night. They would jam this place. They would turn away more people than they would let in for like a year or more. And you had to go in. Everyone wanted to get in, and they wanted to see the bull. They wanted to be there. It was like going to Disneyland for 20-somethings or people that fell into that trend. It was a huge thing. I remember my uncle, he brought back tons of Lone Star beer. It was stacked in his room. And it was this big thing that wasn't just unique, I don't think, to me. I think there was a cowboy trend. And
there was. That started a trend in the Midwest as well. I mean, that was a big movie.
Yeah, it was huge. So John Travolta, he gets two of them. And he had two Kevin Costner incidents within 3 years, within the same, different decade, but 3 years apart.
Yeah.
So
easily. I mean, easily, dude. What about Clint Eastwood when he was doing Every Which Way But Loose? I mean, that started a huge trend of people riding around with like monkeys in their cars. And
Left Turn, Clyde. Yep. I'll never forget orangutans. I remember, I'll never forget, I walked into Denny's one night and goddamn orangutan. We're driving up and down McHenry. I'm like, oh man, check out that hot chicken, that orangutan.
That's right.
That's right. You'd go to the pet stores, and I remember the orangutans were in there. Yeah, you're right, Joe. Orangutans were everywhere.
Well, he started a trend of having TV shows and movies and stuff that had animals in it. Because along came Grizzly Adams, and you had B.J. McKay and his best friend Bear. Remember that guy? He was a truck driving guy with a little monkey.
I think you're missing the point of trend, though. Yeah, there was a trend when people had animals in the TV shows, but it didn't start fashion trends or pop culture shifts. Now, did people want monkeys and orangutans? Did they want to say left turn, Clyde?
Yeah.
You're damn right they did.
Yeah, they did. I did.
But where did you go to get a monkey back then? Now it's easy. If you want a monkey, like an orangutan, even a gorilla.
Well, no, orangutans ain't easy to get. Monkeys are, but orangutans a little tougher.
No, you just go to Florida. You just cruise around for a while. You'll find an orangutan. I mean, all the unindigenous animals live there.
They are in the wild there. There's no doubt about it. People have seen them. Lots of them.
Yeah. But these are trends that are more
I know what you're saying. You're like talking about Happy Days when Fonzie with the leather coat, that zip up old school style leather coat. The Outsiders kind of brought it back a little bit too.
This just hit me. No. Check this out. And I'm not saying that Fonzie didn't make leather jackets cool.
He did.
I think Squiggy gets passed over, from Laverne and Shirley.
Fair enough.
Squiggy gets always passed over by Fonzie. But think about this. Who made the brown wool or fleece lined bomber jacket macho?
Well, Tom Cruise.
There, see, now that's another one.
Yeah.
That just came to me.
Top Gun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That was huge. And, and people wanted, here's another one. This guy gets 2 of these. See,
Tom Cruise gets a lot more than that.
I know you love Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But think about this. Name the movie. He made Wayfarers cool. He made Ray-Bans cool.
What, Blues Brothers?
No. You can kind of give them credit, but this is, I think this is bigger because they were a big trend later after Blues Brothers.
You're talking Risky Business?
Yes, bingo.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets 2 of those. He gets sunglasses and he gets the bomber jacket.
Well, I mean, my gosh, that guy's career has spanned. He definitely gets both of those, but I think there's more. He gets more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, according to Joe, I remember, too, driving down the road and people were shaking cocktails in their car.
Oh, really? As if that wasn't a big bar trend when that movie came out. People were trying to spin those bottles and act that way. They were.
Yeah, I'll never forget, man. Everywhere I went, no matter if it was at a soccer field or I'd walk into like a McDonald's, people had pool sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Color of money.
Yeah, that's right. They always wanted to do it. Back when Days of Thunder came around, everybody wanted to drive around in those driving shoes. They looked like wrestling shoes, but they
didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Rubber's racing. Think about the movies, though. Movies that changed America or TV shows trend-wise. Here's another guy. And he's going to get 2 of them, okay? This guy, right after, 2 years after Urban Cowboy came out, 1982, this guy made Vans Off the Wall, Being Stoned, and Long Hair and Surfers cool. And this movie gets all the credit for changing what we did in California and across America. I mean, this movie made rock and roll, Van Halen, Vans Off the Wall, and Being Stoned and Drunk cool.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yep,
Spicoli.
Yeah. Yep. Sean Penn.
He'll always be the quintessential surfer. There's no doubt about it. He owns that role.
He did, and people just, and not only that though, that there was more of a shift with that movie. They made arcades cool, fast food was cool, smoking dope, drinking beer, surfing, rock and roll, sex wax shirts, Vans Off the Wall, Colt 45 shirts. I mean, you name it, whatever was in that movie, chicks that looked like Pat Benatar, you got to think. And I think Flashdance came out a year before, but that was Jennifer Beals. That wasn't really Pat Benatar, but that movie just made so many
that
trends.
Flashdance, that was all about the leggings. Girls wanted leggings after that. They were like socks without feet, real furry.
They used to call them back in the day leg warmers.
Leg warmers
is what they called them. But I think Flashdance came out a year before Fast Times did in 1981. But there were girls in there dressing like that. So this one's tough. What other movie was Sean Penn in that transformed America and created a trend?
Was Sean Penn in?
Yeah.
Was he in Red Dawn?
God, no.
Because that was a real transformative
You-
movie for Americans.
Yeah, Patrick
That's when we
Swayze.
learned we could survive in the woods and mountains,
Yeah.
fighting back against giant Apache helicopters.
Such a terrible, terrible movie. Poor Charlie Sheen. Poor what's her name from Baby from what do you call it?
Nobody puts Baby in the corner. You got me thinking Flashdance.
Dirty
right now,
Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, she was in it. I mean, what an awful movie. They're in class and they're getting attacked, and he saves
Red
the world.
Dawn. I like it though. I don't know. I can't think of your Sean Penn movie.
And
You talking about Colors?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a stretch, but and it wasn't supposed to do this, but I think it did. It glamorized gang life.
Oh yeah.
Even though it was supposed to be, anti-gang and it was about the cops and how tough it is, in 1988, Colors came out, Sean Penn, Robert Duvall. I think it did the opposite of what they wanted to do. It glamorized gangs, and that's when we saw a real, I think, uptick in, Bloods and Crips and all that stuff. And a few years later, another movie came out and kind of solidified it. Sean Penn not in this one.
Was that the one that the clubs got angry at the Hispanic dude for, that movie?
No, not that one. This was big. You want me to give it to you?
Yeah, because I can't think of it.
In 91, Boys in the Hood.
Oh yeah, Boys in the Hood.
And Ice Cube and Fishbone Lawrence Fishbone, and all these, Cuba Gooding. I think that even though, the older brother got shot and all these people died, again, I think it was glamorizing gang life, and it was teaching a lesson, telling you this could happen. But I think a lot of people watching Ice Cube drive around in his car, it was all bagged out and they're driving around and they're going to get justice. I think that kept the hype going.
Yeah. That was a cool movie because you kind of got to see into that lifestyle.
It was.
You got to know a little bit about. Wow, you're kidding me. That's crazy that goes on, and you're that young, and you have to be subject to that kind of shit stuff.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
It's terrible. And I remember, I think I've told you this, when my wife then we were dating, we'd go down to Disneyland or we'd go down to LA. We'd drive through Crenshaw and we'd drive through Watts and we would drive through all these places, and we wanted to see what's it like. And you saw the couches on porches, and and here's the thing, we would go early in the morning. I'm talking 6, 8, 9 a.m. Everyone's sleeping, but you would see all this stuff and it's like, whoa. Colors and Boys in the Hood, that's how it is.
That was wild, man.
South Central in different parts of LA.
Yeah.
So those are movies that I came up with. Email us, and you could do that here on the website. Tell us some other ones that started trends. Now, what trend do you think, and this was a big movie, what trend did E.T. start?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say it started the alien trend, but it was around before that,
I kind of forgot. I didn't even look at the main. But
what trend were you going to think?
Well, this isn't according to me. I got this off a website. And this is kind of dumb, but it says, and it's like, duh, Reese's Pieces sales through the roof.
Oh.
Okay. I get that.
I believe that.
And do they still make those Reese's
Oh,
Pieces?
they make them. They make them. And we get a Reese's Pieces candy cane in our stockings from Santa every year.
And just quickly, I don't want to sidetrack. Reese's Pieces or Reese's Pieces?
Reese's Pieces.
Of course, I knew you would.
That's how it goes. That's what they're called.
But yeah, duh, that's what he ate, and that's what, trapped him, or, that's what he followed the trail. But I think what trend ET kind of did when I think about my time in life and what was going on around me. It made BMX bicycles cool. And the bike that Elliot had and the bikes that were in the movie, they started selling them at different stores. Same thing with Karate Kid. Karate Kid
Oh
really,
yeah, he had a BMX bike.
yeah, and they all had BMX bikes, and it kind of kicked up. BMXing was already going on, but it kind of brought it more mainstream, and made it cool.
They had BMX bikes in Goonies too. And that one
I guess they did.
That one kid stole his big brother's bike, so he had to ride his little
Yeah, that's right.
Ride that banana bike seat.
Yeah. And this one, according to a website, this is not me, and I never knew this. In 2014, this is British Border Patrols, they saw a 400% surge in smuggling of a drug. Name the drug and name the TV show, if you can.
2014 would have been meth, Breaking Bad.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Breaking Bad was so popular, it boosted crystal meth and made it cool. They had a 400% surge in dirty old tub dope meth.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's something right there, man.
So chime in and let us know other TV shows that started trends or started a trend for you. Is there anything else you can think of, Joe? I mean, did you love?
I was trying to think of them all the way through, but not really. Not stuff that I was already doing. You know, I mean, it was cool to see Sons of Anarchy, but that started a trend that went the wrong way. Guys that were in clubs were like, that's not what happens in these things.
Yeah, but it really did. I guarantee it helped sales. And whether it was clothing, apparel, or actual bikes, that was one of those. That was a cultural shift show, I would think.
I loved it myself just because I don't know, whatever. It was cool to sit on the couch and watch them do that kind of stuff. I always thought that was cool. And I like Jax. I like that Jax Teller character.
Whatever
he's
happened
cool.
to him? He kind of faded, didn't he?
I don't know. Whatever happened to him. He was like the star of that guy from Vikings.
Yeah.
I can't think. Ragnar Lothbrok. I don't know what his real name is, but he's been in a couple movies, and then he just kind of faded too.
And I think that guy, the Jax Teller, whatever, he's Australian, right? He's
something Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, yeah, that's his real name.
Yeah,
he blew up, and then
I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, he did a couple movies here and there, and then he was gone.
Yeah,
but he was cool. I like that guy.
You used to watch a lot of Friends.
Friends was huge.
Yeah. I don't think that
didn't really start any trends though.
No, and it's weird because
they had a monkey.
Again, yeah, monkeys, Joe and monkeys. Seinfeld, I don't think really started anything. Everybody watched it and they loved Kramer. But the whole funny thing is the whole dad trend and the thick-soled shoes, that didn't take off till almost 30 years later. All the kids now wear Jerry Seinfeld shoes.
Yeah.
They don't tuck the shirt in the 501s like he did. But so I don't really think that started a trend.
Nobody's got the belly to be able to do that. Seinfeld stayed relatively skinny through those years. And, I mean, you try to tuck your button-up shirt into your 501s now, and you got to just – no matter how hard I work at it, I still got a belly.
Being tucked in is uncomfortable, and I've had a couple occasions here lately where I've had to tuck, and it is not fun.
I don't like tucking in.
It is tuck under the fold. Ugh. It's pulling on you and trying to suck it in because you're like, God damn, I can't even breathe. And then, oh my God, if you have to bend over to pick something up.
Oh, it's just terrible.
Awful.
If you eat while you're out like that, it makes it 3 times worse. A button wants to pop.
Yeah. So what I do now is I tuck in the underwear. I put it in the tidy whities. That way, if I'm out, I can undo the belt and the top button and even a couple other buttons below it. And I'm still somewhat covered up, but
you're going to walk with your pants unbuttoned.
Little halfway. Yeah.
Yeah.
A half button.
Okay. What do you keep the belt on to hide it?
Yeah. I loosen the belt, but the belt holds it up, but I just untuck it for more comfort. It's expanded. but the shirt's still tucked in.
If you'd wear stretchy jeans like I told you to, you wouldn't have to worry about that. They stretch for your comfort.
I'm done with those. I don't know what they're made out of. I don't know what space age elasticity polymer.
I love them.
I don't like those. I'm done with them. I'm not doing stretch jeans anymore. I'm back to normal. And I don't wear pants that often.
No, you don't, but I do on an almost daily basis. And I like to get like leg stretches in. If I want to do the Karate Kid one-legged kick in stretch jeans, I can pull it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do it in real life without stretch jeans on, so I can't do it with them. But a man that can do it.
In your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see myself doing it. I could do the splits like Jean-Claude Van Damme did atop those two semis.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. The only thing you're missing now is a monkey or an orangutan.
Well, there's always hope. I have a job. Give me a monkey now.
Tell your friends, tell your grandma, your aunts, your uncles, tell your cats, give them the credit card, share, like, comment. Tell us about more movies or TV shows that started trend. Send us the emails. Keep them coming. We appreciate it.
We do.
I think we're all good for the Monday episode.
Well, thank you very much. It's cool to see all the stuff coming in, man. That really is neat. I love that. So stick around with us. I'll get better as we go along. Hopefully you can find something you like and want to hang on to. If you want to see something, you want us to talk about something, let us know. We'll do it. Thank you again for everything. Have a great day, night, evening, whenever you watch this. Play nice.